Here on Eurofootball Daily, we are always happy to hold our hands up when we are wrong about a player. Moods and opinions are always shifting in football, and you never know which star is ready to turn their careers around. We decided to celebrate that this week on Scout Report, so here are 3 players we thought were finished. Kieran Trippier. Atlético Madrid's decision to sign Kieran Trippier back in July 2019 was met with bemusement in the FD office. The Spanish giants had agreed to pay €22 million for a trophyless 28-year-old who to many wasn't even considered among England's best 3 right-backs. A decent defender no doubt, but it was inconceivable to think he could cope with the relentless demands of his new manager, Diego Simeone. Trippier did have his qualities. During 4 years at Spurs, he contributed 14 Premier League assists and averaged 2.6 tackles per 90 with a completion rate of 75%. He offered excellent delivery and managed 5.5 pressures per game at the time of purchase, but all the evidence suggested he peaked during the 2018 World Cup, a competition where he managed more key passes than any other player and even scored in the semi-final. 12 months on, and a succession of minor injuries and mistakes left him surplus to requirements in North London. Sure enough, his first season in Spain followed a predictable decline. His defensive actions per game all dipped, and passing accuracy fell to a 4-year low of 76.7%. Never before was Trippier completing fewer passes than his 37.6 passes per game. On paper, it didn't look great, but the statistics weren't accounting for the new style and instructions the Manchester City graduate was having to adapt to. Trippier was actually being encouraged to play higher by El Cholo, meaning his tackles in the middle third of the pitch actually jumped by 78%, while their counter-attacking style explained his drop in possession. Yet with the greater focus on positional discipline, Trippier remained creative. His shot-creating actions per game marginally improved to 3.14, and he ranked 9th in La Liga for passes into the penalty area. Overall, he contributed 4 league assists, though wasn't helped by a lacklustre Atletico attack, which saw Alvaro Morata finish as a distant top scorer on just 12. In order to combat the lack of goals, this season Simeone shifted Los Rojiblancos from a defence-minded 4-4-2 to various takes on 3-5-2. This installed Trippier at right wing-back, allowing him to surge forward in knowledge the space behind him was secure, and the results have been stunning for the 30-year-old. By mid-January, he had posted 5 assists and completed 91 progressive passes. An integral cog in Atletico's build-up, an XG chain per 90 of 0.5 meant he was involved in every other goal they scored, while in Luis Suarez, they had a significant upgrade up front. Only Jan Oblak had received more minutes than Trippier, while Atletico were winning 2.5 points per game with him on the pitch. And to top it all off, his defensive actions had soared to 6 per game, making him not just the standout right back in La Liga, but one of the best on the continent. But Trippier's fine form would jar to a halt after the FA handed him a 10-week ban for breaching betting regulations. Needless to say, Atletico were furious with the decision, as without the 25 times capped international, they have dropped points in 3 of their 8 league games, conceding 10. They had only conceded 6 times in the 16 games prior. Though the ban is almost over, the chasing pack managed to close the gap on the league leaders, while they limped to a defeat against Chelsea in the Champions League. Atletico need him back, and fast, as Trippier is now a surprising but integral leader in Simeone's pack. Andre Silva. It was once all too easy to consider Andre Silva a flop. Back in 2017, AC Milan had signed the Portuguese forward for a massive €38 million, but 12 months on had loaned him to Sevilla. Once again, Silva failed to make the grade, and rather than give him another chance, Milan sent him to Eintracht Frankfurt, this time on a 2-year loan. It was clear the Rossoneri wanted nothing more to do with him. Silva was simply never able to repeat the electric form that saw him score 24 goals in 58 appearances for FC Porto. In 16-17, he was running at 3 shots per game, though that crumbled to 1.5 in Italy. With only 10 shots on target all season, he finished his debut campaign in the famed number 9 shirt of the Rossoneri with just 2 league goals. In fairness, he was only handed 7 starts, plus he did net 8 times in the Europa League, but success against lowly opposition on the continent wasn't enough. But in Milan, his key passes dropped by 30%, and he would fail to register a single assist in all competitions. His switch to Frankfurt meant by the age of 23, Silva was onto his 4th club in as many years. But how he has proven everyone wrong in the Bundesliga. The Portuguese star finished his first season in Germany with 12 goals and 3 assists, reaching a career high 4.9 shots and key passes per 90. Scoring with every other shot on target, he would also manage a massive 3.1 shot creating actions every game. Adi Hütler's side wasted no time making the move permanent, convincing Milan to part with Silva for merely €9 million, and what a bargain that has proved to be. Now 25, Silva has elevated himself into the upper echelons of European strikers with some stunning performances this season. At the time of writing, he has 19 goals from 21 appearances, offering up a goal contribution every 86 minutes. Were it not for Robert Lewandowski's ridiculous form, he would lead the Bundesliga charts. Only Lionel Messi and the Bayern forward have netted more times across Europe's top 5 leagues this calendar year, while a massive 48% of his 3.5 shots per 90 are hitting the target. Part of the reason he has become so clinical is because every single goal has come from inside the box, where he has developed into a lethal predator. Beyond the goals, he ranks second in the whole of the bully for progressive passes, and has completed 26 carries into the penalty area. Though he has only 2 assists, no forward in the German top flight has created more than his 6 big chances. And with a top speed of 20.5 miles per hour, just 1.8 less than Alphonso Davies, it's often forgotten how quick and powerful he really is. His work means Eintracht sit on the cusp of Champions League qualification for the first time in 52 years. Achieve this goal, and Silva's redemption will all but complete. On reflection, his struggles in Milan appear more indicative of the Rossoneri's own issues at the time. After all, he isn't the only big signing to flourish away from the San Siro, as Lucas Paqueta's recent success in Lyon demonstrates. It just goes to show that some moves can come too soon in a player's career, but in the case of Silva, he could be ready for another shot on the biggest stage of all. Jesse Lingard. Who else could we finish our discussion on than the Premier League man of the moment, Jesse Lingard? You'll be hard pushed to find anyone not delighted at the sight of the English forward back among the goals, glowing with confidence since his loan move to West Ham United. The 28-year-old had become a scapegoat at the Red Devils whenever the going got tough, indicative of the club's recent failure to capitalise on its potential. During the 2019-20 campaign, it took until the dying moments of their final match against Leicester City for Lingard to get on the score sheet at all, making the headlines after 2 punters saw their bet that he would fail to register a goal involvement that season shattered at the last hurdle. An amusing story, but the joke did no favours for Lingard's status at United. Come the start of 2021, the academy graduate was nowhere to be seen in Solskjaer's squad, and by January had made merely 3 appearances in cup competitions. Meanwhile, West Ham United had roared into life, with 10 wins and 5 draws from their opening 20 games to sit 5th in the Premier League. But despite their good form, it was evident they needed a striker to support Mikel Antonio following Sebastian Haller's departure to Ajax. Needless to say, the goal-shy Jesse Lingard wasn't who many Hammers had in mind. But how Lingard has proven us wrong. 3 goals from 445 minutes of Premier League action, plus an excellent 3.2 shots per 90, has only helped push West Ham further up the table, now occupying the 4th spot, a point ahead of Chelsea. Beyond the goals, Lingard's all-round performances have been a sight to behold. On his debut against Aston Villa, he cut a commanding presence on the pitch, completing 91% of his passes and touching the ball a massive 68 times, more than any player in their side but Rice and Souček. 2 key passes and 2 goals prove just the tip of the iceberg. Another quality run-out against Sheffield United saw Lingard again demand the ball, posting 5 shots and completing 3 of 6 attempted dribbles. It was his surging run into the box that led to a penalty Rice duly tucked away, and the Blades never looked comfortable dealing with the winger. By this point, Lingard was clearly relishing life back on the pitch, translating his newfound confidence into another quality display, this time against London rivals Tottenham Hotspur. A tenacious Lingard won 2 out of 3 tackles, completed 100% of his dribbles, and found the net with his sole effort on target. It was a ruthless and efficient display that would have left not just David Moyes smiling, but his former manager Jose Mourinho too. It's obviously early days, but the 28-year-old is flying against the trend of expectation. Only 4 other forwards hit the target more often than Lingard right now, while his 7.2 progressive carries per game demonstrates a player determined to make a difference. The celebrations are back and the smile returned, and if West Ham do go on to clinch a European spot, his future at the top of the game may be secured once more. So those were our 3 players that we thought were finished but are proving us wrong. However, are there any other players out there that are proving us wrong as well? Get at us in the comments below and leave some names. If you've enjoyed this video, then please click on screen for some more Euro Football Daily content. And as always guys, do not forget to like and subscribe.